What's good, y'all? We back with another reaction video. We got 10 best Eminem guest verses of all time. I expect to see Dead Wrong. I expect to see Forever. I expect to see Best Friend. If this came out before Best Friend, I don't know. But I expect to see Best Friend. Maybe Roman's Revenge. I like his verse in that. If this would have came out after, like this year, I would expect it to see No Favors. But, it's like 7 months ago it was uploaded. That's All She Wrote. Shit. Yeah, that's just a few I'm gonna name. I don't want to guess the whole thing, but yeah, let's get into it.
Eminem is considered by many people to be one of the best rappers alive, either past or present.
Right.
A lot of people have said he's fallen off recently. I don't really agree with that, but either way, at some point, pretty much everyone has thought he's the greatest rapper of all time.
Right.
Which makes it no surprise that he pretty much murders every single song he is featured on.
Right.
And my God, does he have a lot of guest verses. And today, we're going to be counting down the 10 best Eminem guest verses.
If I rap these verses, y'all gotta excuse me.
Before we start, I just think it's worth mentioning that because there is so many guest verses and so many of them are brilliant, it was kind of hard for me to pick between them all. So there's a lot I wanted to put on this list that won't have made it just because I put other songs on before it. There could be a part 2 to this list. I mean, there's definitely enough verses left to go around to make a part 2. So if there's ones that aren't on here, they'll most likely be in the second part. With that being said, let's get into this list.
I eat rappers with the rhyme, consume them. The only fucking thing that you consume is time. I'm superhuman, my world is like a Rubik's Cube. It's too complex, girl, you assuming Cupid's wrong.
Y'all let me know what the verse is off of right now, because I need to listen to that.
At number 10, we have Where I'm At by Lloyd Banks.
Fucking see why they call this bullshit a relationship.
I'm not even hip to this song.
And you know it's love as soon as you born when it cause shit stinks. And it feels like every time I fucking do, I get shit.
Oh, this is the song that was just playing. Alright, I get it.
Now this song is so damn good, and I don't know why it isn't a much more popular song. It has not only a verse from Eminem, but he also actually does the hook, and it sounds so great and triumphant. His verse on here is great as always, talking about how he's happy at getting out of a shitty relationship. It's a good ass verse, and you should definitely check this song out if you haven't heard it already. It definitely deserves a lot more recognition. At number 9, we have Twerk That Pop That by Trick Trick.
I don't know this song at all.
With a pint of bean like a cheaper, wildin' the fuck out like Beaver at 19, or Ice-T in the 90s. Bright lean and some Nike, smart, nice Steve. Never slight breeze, don't like me, but they bite me. There might be a better chance of flight 370 turning up.
Now, I know a lot of people actually really didn't like Eminem over this kind of beat and his verse in general.
Nah, he sound good.
But I loved it when I heard it first, to be honest, and I think his voice works alright on this production. There are definitely a lot of different production Eminem sounds better over. Obviously, he's not kind of made for those kind of club-style trap banger beats, but I think it works well, and he flows over it fucking perfectly. Even though his voice doesn't sound great on it, his flow here is ridiculous. His rhyme scheme is crazy, and I swear he keeps up with the fast-paced beat effortlessly, and I swear his rhymes actually manage to line up perfectly on every single drum hit. He honestly rhymes that many times on this song. I don't like the song too much as a whole, but Eminem's verse was crazy on this. At number 8, we have My Life by 50 Cent.
While you were sipping your own Kool-Aid, getting your bars heavy, I was in the fucking shed, chopping my bush.
I don't think I know the song either.
Getting my taste buds ready to whoop down this spaghetti. Or should I say this spaghetti even?
Okay, I'll admit, Eminem's wordplay here is kind of corny, I guess, with the whole spaghetti even line and the bubble wrap line, but I still love his verse here. I think one of the reasons I loved it so much at first is because it had been 2 years since Eminem released an album at the time of this song. I really like when he has kind of faster flows, and it does seem a little bit erratic in a way here, but I think it's a dope verse and he sounds really passionate on it. At number 7, we have Speed 'Em by Tech 9, which also features Chris Calico.
I wrecked this beat, let me just check to see if Stephanie Mills left in me. Extra refills and ecstasy pills next to me in the seat still, or she eat them all with a breakfast drink. You expect the same? In the habit of grabbing a mic and bathing when I dab with the mics, when I like to slot up a fucking writing tablet after the night and grabbing
Eminem clearly brought his A game here. He had to compete with the light speed verses from Tech 9 and also Chris Calico, and he really managed to do it. I was so hyped for this, and it did not disappoint. The only part I dislike in his verse is at the beginning, where he puts some effects on his voice to make it sound kind of higher pitched and sped up. But apart from that, it's great, and honestly shows that no one else knows how to write multiple syllables like Eminem does. I actually cannot believe the way he twists words to make them rhyme. At number 6, we have Our House by Slaughterhouse.
in our house, we spit like 6
I don't know the song either. Oh my god.
Straight, only way to be great is to get down with the people sound. It sounds like a fucking drive-by. Slipping inside of my mind's like looking back on my career.
I've heard some people say that this verse sounds pretty dull to them, but I'd have to disagree with that. I feel like Eminem's tone and delivery really fits the overall
what's this, 5? Put speed him at 5.
Song here. And it was great with fantastic verses from 3 of the 4 Slaughterhouse members.
In fact, I ain't heard her verse, but I still don't like the way it sounds. You can put that
a great Eminem verse.
Higher.
I really hope that Eminem
like
will
7.
be involved with Slaughterhouse's next project, whenever that's going to drop. We've been waiting for ages for Glasshouse to drop, so hopefully when it is released we get a dope verse from Eminem and maybe some production as well. At number 5 we have Drop the World
6.
by Lil Wayne.
Oh, you dropped the world.
Only you could see just how lonely and how cold and frostbite I've become. My back's against the wall when push come to shove. I can stand up and scream fuck them all, and it feels like these walls are closing in.
This
roof is caving in.
songs on Lil Wayne's album.
Yeah, I was gonna say Drop the World,
The
but
best Wayne verses I've heard. M always kind of seems to make him step his game up, and that can also be shown on the song No Love, which has
No
pretty
Love.
much the best Lil Wayne verse of all time in my opinion. Eminem's verse here starts off with some classic Eminem
No Love should
harmonizing,
be
which a lot of people dislike.
like
but
after this.
I
No
actually
Love?
love,
Yeah, No Love
and
should be
that
after
leads
this.
into some just straight bars. This song was released
Or
in
high-
the
or
recovery
lower.
era of Eminem, so if you like that album, you'll definitely like this verse like I did. This is one of the ones that I just kind of love for the aggression of it. At number 4 we have Best Friend by Yellow.
Yeah.
You a Tupac and a suit
Tupac
talking
and
a
the poop drop and the deuce full of a syllable clip like a refillable strip cock and a shoot. Three things my God that I use that I pull from to get my strength up against these haters and be waiting to get when you get sprayed up sending you all straight up to deal with my.
Now, this song is relatively relaxed.
That verse
and
is
slow-paced
crazy,
with
bro.
a great performance by
That's one of
Yellow
his
from the
best
start.
of all
Then
time, in my
begins the
opinion. I don't
Eminem
care.
verse, and the
I really don't
energy
care.
and aggression just picks up straight away. And Eminem being the way he is nowadays, his rhyme scheme is just too good here. And nearly everything rhymes pretty much. It's a fairly
That was
long verse, and I
lyrical.
think it comes to a dope
Passion, mind,
conclusion
voice,
with the
everything.
instruments rising and sounding more dramatic as his verse finishes. And it really gives it that kind of bang that a song needs when you finish your verse to make it stand out. At number 3 we have Patiently Waiting by 50 Cent.
Oh, yeah.
The Savior was like an angel came to the save from the heavens above. They think they're crazy, but they ain't crazy. Let's face it, shit basically they just playing sick games. Shit they ain't saying shit's spraying 50.
Honestly, I thought I wouldn't like this verse at first. The way Eminem was riding the beat at the start was pretty dope, but I thought it sounded kind of encore-ish and awkward. And then all of a sudden,
If I don't
it just
see No
burst
Love,
out
I might-
some incredible
I might be
out
outta
of this
here.
world
I don't know.
rhymes. The rap here was pretty much a perfect example of Eminem show era Eminem, and I love it. He even goes as far here to
How
say
do y'all
that
feel
when
about
the Twin
the-
Towers were
Sorry to switch the subject and divert. How do y'all feel about the Eminem being a clone conspiracy? I want to hear y'all thoughts on that.
down, that they should have hit the Shady Records building instead, which was located close to the Twin Towers. Fun fact, it was rumoured that this line came to be because Eminem actually received death threats from Al-Qaeda after he dressed up as Bin Laden in the Without Me music video. He's always been a risky guy, but I guess he literally just doesn't care what he says at this point, and fair enough to him for that, hats off. At number 2 we have That's All She Wrote by T.I.
Where's No Love?
By now, but in case you didn't, it's so fast, let's stick it up to your forehead and staple it.
Life is too short, I got no time to sit around just waiting to drop it to shit a little bit quicker. Like clock, I'm racing a couple times, but I'm still switching to your mind.
Now, it's kind of hard to
I don't know
choose
that part.
between the 2 verses that Eminem gave T.I. here, so I'm just going to count them both as one verse because they are both fucking amazing. I personally love the emotional side of Eminem, and it really shows here as he basically throws insults at his exes. The stuff he's saying here is so raw and harsh, and it really makes for an impactful track. And obviously the beat here also really helps out with that. It sounds great altogether. I think the best insult here personally is, if you was bleach and I was hair, I wouldn't die for
Oh,
you.
yeah,
I just thought it was
that's
pretty
crazy.
funny and a creative way of telling someone you don't care about them. Pretty much amazing wordplay from Eminem, great aggressive delivery, and it also has one of the earlier fast Eminem verses, because you know Eminem has always had a generally faster paced flow, but he doesn't have too many sections where he goes fast, but All She Wrote had one of those sections and it was great. And at number 1, of course, we have Renegade by Jay-Z.
So is No Love not a feature? Or am I on shrooms or something? Or am I on bath salt? Was that not Lil Wayne, No Love featuring Eminem? Actually, it wasn't, because I was on recovery. I'm stupid. I'm the dumb one. Excuse my idiocy. That was Eminem featuring Lil Wayne. Yes, yeah. Excuse my idiocy. He should have put Romance Revenge on here. I don't care.
listen and talk to these kids and they listen. I ain't no politician, but I kick it with them a minute. Cause see, they call me a menace. And if the shoe fits, I wear it. But if it don't, then y'all will swallow the truth, grin and bear it. Now who's the king?
Now what other verse honestly could I
Renegade
have
is
chosen
OD.
for number one? I love when certain terms used widely in hip-hop come from one certain song, such as the term ether, and that happened here, turning renegaded into a phrase you would use when a guest rapper kills the main
I was bobbing my head like with Eminem and Jay, but it was no like beat playing. I was just like looking at them and then found myself bobbing my head
on a song with their verse. And the thing is, Jay-Z's verse isn't even bad here at all. It's actually a fantastic verse, and a lot of people have debated about whether Eminem actually murdered Jay on his own song here. But Eminem's verse was just so good that a lot of people thought there was nothing that Jay could have done to outshine Eminem here. This was basically an entire 2 verses calling out Eminem's critics, and it is no surprise that it was also so good because this verse was released between the Marshall Mathers LP and the Eminem show, when M was pretty much in his prime. It's classic Eminem with punchlines left and right and dope delivery. It's a great verse, and that is why it takes our number 1 spot here. So guys, that is it for our
You should have
list.
did honorable
Thank you
mentions
so
like how
much
he did
for
in
watching. For those of you who've been requesting it, I promise you guys I am working on the 10 fastest verses video for the
Oh, he did that after this one. Oh, never mind. Maybe he should have did some honorable mentions. But yeah, that's the end of this video. 10 best Eminem guest verses of all time. Most of the songs like 5 and up or 6 and up, like to 10, I didn't really know, so I'm not gonna really rearrange that order. 5 and down, it was cool. I mean, Renegade, I agree. Renegade is number 1. Forgot about Dre. I thought that was Dr. Dre featuring Eminem, but it's probably not. Y'all gonna have to correct me. I don't know every, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't know every aspect of it, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I think that had to not be a feature, because if it wasn't, actually, yeah, that is Eminem. That's Eminem. That's Eminem. That's Eminem. Excuse me, that's Eminem featuring Dr. Dre. But yeah, Renegade, that's a good number 1. That's number 1. I agree with that. I agree with that. Roman's Revenge should have been in here, because the ones from like 10 to 5, they weren't that good to me. I feel like Roman's Revenge should have been in here just because, I don't know, I just like that verse. I'm glad Best Friend was in here. I would have put Best Friend at 2. I would have did that. That's All She Wrote. That's a good verse, but I would have put, what did he put at number 2? I think he put Patiently Waiting. I don't know. But I would have put Best Friend at 2, Renegade at number 1. That's just my opinion. But yeah, that's the end of this video. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, hit the notification bell while you're at it. Follow us on our social medias, links in the description, and comment any videos you may react to down below. I'll get to them. Let's get to 300 subs. Let's keep going up, try and get to at least 1K, you feel me? Let's try to get to 1K, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying, by the end of the month, like, let's try to do that. Like, we could do that shit. I don't care. But, yeah, man, thanks for the support, and I'll see y'all later.